So I've got these sequential turn signals for the mirror side markers, and the way you get them on is you have to take off the mirror cap. Once you get the mirror cap off, there's a couple little clips and a couple little screws that you've got to take off. Luckily enough, this thing moves how you need it to get access to things. So the first thing that's got to come off is the mirror cap. But before we do that, the tools you'll need, various pry bars. I use a little plastic one like this. This was able to get the mirror cap off. A little Torx T15 bit. Not a bad idea to have some needle nose pliers for some of the clips that are inside, various other pry tools, and a magnet. Flashlight helps. Okay, so now that we've got that stuff, let's go ahead and start prying things open. So the first thing to come off is the cap, and basically all you need to do is work around the sides. There are 3 clips on the top, and then there's 1 on the bottom. So as long as you can get the ones at the top started and around the sides, just find a point of ingress and just kind of wiggle back and forth, run along the top. You feel, sometimes it helps to get in there. Okay, you can start to feel some of the clips getting a little bit of tension on them. Once you get them all loosened up, you can just push it off from the back, because what's going on underneath is you've got these 3 clips that are capturing along this top edge, and then you've got this one on the bottom that hooks up into this little recess right under here. Okay, actually it's that right there. It hooks onto that. So you got to be careful to be a little bit gentle so you don't break this or damage any of these. Once you get it off, it will come right off. So you set this aside somewhere safe so it's not going to get damaged, because you don't want to mess up the paint. The piece we're replacing is this little lamp right here, and it's captured in there pretty well. This whole piece over it wraps from the top all the way down. Has your puddle light underneath attached to it, so there's a cable there that will be attached that's we don't really need to worry about, but it's in there, so we have to be careful not to yank it. The way to gain access to all this is inside here there's 2 screws, one on this side and one on this side, and what that does is that loosens this whole assembly right here. This unhooks from underneath, so you've got to kind of pry down beneath this lamp right here. Once you get this started, it unclips pretty easily from behind and underneath this under here. Okay, so just run your tool along underneath here. That popped. Okay, there's the other one. You can see it's still hooked right here. You don't want to take it any further off than that, because what'll happen is it might break, and I wouldn't trust that for very much. So leave it as is. If you can just pop it back into place lightly so it's not too torqued, because you don't want to stress that joint. It's a very thin piece of plastic. I don't know why they did it that way, but anyway, just inside there's a little T15 screw. There's one on this side, and if you move the mirror over here, there's another one just inside here as well. You got to kind of push the mirror down. Yep, there it is. Whoop, sorry for the focusing. Just inside there, you can see it. All right, there she is. So we need to get that one and the one on the other side. All right, and this is where you might need the magnet if it slips off and it doesn't want to come, but you got to get in there, and it's a very tight squeeze. So if you have a dedicated T15, I'd use that, but I've got these little bits that I can pop into my screwdriver. Okay, and I think that's about to come out, so I'm gonna get the magnet because I don't want it to fall down in there, because that would be a pain in the butt to get out. So get the magnet in there. Again, if you have a smaller magnet, that would be good too. This one's kind of big, but there you go. So retain that, put it somewhere safe so you don't lose it. I'm going to put it in the box. There we go. And then the second one, same story, just a different location. Get in there with the head of your Torx bit. It's an odd angle, so you're just gonna have to be gentle with it and don't force it. There we go. Okay. And the angle on this one's not so bad, so you might actually be able to pull it out on the head of your... Nope, fell down. That's all right. That's where we have magnets. Might even be able to get it to roll out underneath here. There we go. Yeah, okay, so there's the second one. Okay, now you've got clips here. There's one here, and there's one, it's a double-sided right over here. If you can see that, there's one right here that you should pinch with your pliers, and this one's easy enough to just pop off with your thumb. You can see how this becomes loose. Okay, so set these aside for a second. I might need my pliers. Okay, so right underneath here, just pinch this one together, and as you're pinching, just kind of pull that off, so that gets the whole thing to come loose. And what's going to happen is it's going to hang, because you've got a wire here, and you've got the connector for your little lamp right here. Now that one just kind of popped off on its own. Usually that holds it up there, but that's the connector we need for this little guy. And this just kind of snakes its way around some things. There's a locating tab on it on the front. So this is just gonna kind of get pulled out, wiggle it out. If you need to, you can unhook the little puddle light right here. That might help get it out. There you go. So that's the old one. The new one is right here. So peel the plastic off of that. And so you can see how they compare. This one has a smoked lens and this one's clear. The little foam surround, there's the locator tab. So this is gonna go in. This is gonna go in like this. Just slide it in. You want that locator tab to go through this little aperture right there. So kind of get it in behind, wiggle it into place, might need to pry a little bit. Okay, that's getting close. There's the locator tab in there, and that's just gonna, it's gonna rest against the bottom lip of the mirror housing. That's where you want it to rest. You don't want it to be up. You do want a gap right there. That's supposed to be there. Now, I've got to go ahead and reconnect my puddle light. It only goes one way. You've got a horizontal and vertical connection onto these little spears right here. Okay, so that's reconnected, and then this little guy gets connected to this. So I had more space to play with on the last one. So this could be interesting. I'm gonna have to get my finger in there and kind of hold it in position while I get this to fit over and under. Before you put everything back together, you want to check the operation of this. I did get it attached. It was really tight in there. I had to put my finger in from behind and kind of press the two connectors together. So test it. Best way to test it is just to flip on your hazards, and you can see that it's lighting up as it should. So what we'll do is we'll get this clipped back in, get those 2 screws back in, and then finally pop the mirror cap back on. So we'll do a little time lapse on that one. So here we go. Already did the driver's side, passenger side's done. Everything's nice and tight, clean. There's your install. So it's pretty easy to do. You just have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit because some of the clips are a little bit finicky, and you want to be careful. Go slow, don't try to rush it because you can snap something off or break something or damage something. You don't want to use anything metal to pry. Don't use a screwdriver to pry in this because this is all plastic. This is painted plastic. This is textured plastic. Everything's pretty soft. So take your time, be gentle, pop things off, pop them back on. It's just a bunch of popping things off and popping things back on. And then you got sequential turn signals on your mirrors. All right, have a good one.